Hi, welcome to the Borealis Big Bulls Moose Derby and Raffle. What we're going to do is going to make a little video that shows you how we measure these, the racks using our jig. So what we have here is we've got a jig that goes square to the wall over here. And so we're going to use the wall surface for one of our points. The jig can extend out to 8 feet, so we can get moose all the way up to your 70 and 80 inches. This upright is where we're going to put the outside point, and we have the laser measurer here so that once we get the 2 points between the wall and here, then we're going to shoot a laser measure and we can very accurately measure the width of the racks, which is what we're after. So we've got a moose rack here, and we're going to get the jig set up and try to shoot a measurement on it. So the first thing that we're going to do is turn the rack, and we're going to get a rough idea of how wide it is, so we know how wide we need to get the jig. So we're going to get 1 point up on the wall here. We've got a plate, a joiner plate that holds the 2 pieces together here on the base. So we're going to loosen this just the top row of these up, and that way we can slide this out just a little bit to give us plenty of room to get to this outside point. So that gives us a little bit of wiggle room in there, and then I'm going to snug those up with the wrench here so that we know that it's tight and it's not going to move. Okay, so we've got a parallel piece, or a perpendicular piece over here that's going to go against the wall, so we know that the measure is perpendicular to the wall. So what we're going to do is we've got our milk crate jig here. It's going to help hold the racks in place, make it a little easier to get them measured. See if I can get that in here. Okay. So the reason why we have the milk crate. Okay, so there's two things that are super important to making sure that we get an accurate measurement. The first is we want to make sure that the antlers are level this way, and we also want to make sure that the antlers are lined up across the eyes, across the skull plate. We want to make sure that that is exactly perpendicular to the wall. If our antlers are tilted this way at all, it's going to decrease that measurement or change it depending on how the points are. Or if it's tilted up or down this way, it's going to change our 2 outside widest points. So we're going to do 2 things. One, by having it in the milk crate here, we can line it up and see up and down, is it perpendicular to our post. The antlers will settle into the center of the 2 milk crate corners, and we can line that up with our base piece. If the milk crate needs to be slid away because of the way that the antlers are configured, we can use our handy little measuring tool, our measuring tape. Okay, so that will give us a perpendicular line, and we can lay that as we slide the milk crate forward or back away. If we have to go way back for whatever reason, especially if it's a hole that still has a head on it or something and it's going to be tipped way back, as that milk crate moves away from our center beams, we can use this to make sure that we're measured evenly and our milk crate is still square to the measuring jig. Fortunately, this rack lines up pretty well so that we can just put the milk crate right onto our measuring jig, and it gets us pretty well lined up. Second thing is we want to make sure that the antlers are level this direction. So we've got our level here. The 2 posts on the level that you can see, those are going to set just inside of the bases of the antlers. We want to be on the skull or if there's still fur on the head, we want to make sure that our 2 points are on those surfaces, not on the bases, since they can vary in thickness. So we're going to use our leveler here. We're going to set it on the skull on the outside too. And we're going to make sure that we can tip it in the milk crate here, so we can move our head. We can tip it left or right in there. And we're going to set it here in our milk crate and make sure that it's level. Okay, so now we are level in the milk crate. So our antlers are level and they are perpendicular to the wall. So I'm going to take that and I'm just going to slide it up until we have a point contacting the wall over there. Okay. So now we want to try to get our laser as close to our measuring point as we can. That takes away any kind of unplumbness from this point. So what we can do is loosen this up just a little bit. I'm going to slide it down here so it's shooting just over the top of our antlers. So we're going to get as close to our points as we can. Make sure that that's square and tight up against there. This laser measures off of the base, so we're getting a measurement from the edge here to the wall. So with our measure about as close as we can get, so now we can kind of eyeball and see what we think is our widest point. So we're looking at one of these two here, it looks like. One of these 2 points. So we're going to be able to slide the upright piece here. We'll slide over on the track. We're going to slide over until we contact that outermost point. If that point happens to be forward or back, we can just take the whole base and move it a little bit, or slide our antlers a little bit forward or back, or tip them, whatever we need to do, as long as we're making sure that they're still perpendicular to the wall and level across the top. So now we have a contact point here on the edge, on the inside edge. We've got our other antler point against the wall, so we're ready to take a measurement. Turn it on, it projects a point over to that wall. Hit it one more time, and we see that our measurement is 49 5/16 inches. So we can get super accurate as long as we take the time to make sure that our antlers are set up properly in the beginning. So now we know that everything is set up. We're going to take one good measurement, make sure that everything shoots good. If we need to, we can try 2 or 3 different spots if we think that it might be wider here or up here, but we're only going to take one measurement from each location, not multiple. So we can try here and we can try here, and we'll take the wider of those 2 measurements. So that's how the jig is working. Very accurate as long as we take the time to set it up correctly, and that's how we're going to be determining our Derby winners this year. So thank you.